Good afternoon, everyone. As I've mentioned, here is the instructional video as to the mini performance test number 2, which I have mentioned earlier, which is the momentum in motion collision investigation challenge. So, if you noticed, I removed in our previous conversation sa GC naton ang video naging create ko earlier along with the document or guidelines sa one section nga ginsendan ko earlier. So, please follow this revised guidelines because I already tailored this to what I have mentioned just a while ago sa aton nga GC. So again, same goal, and that is to investigate and demonstrate how momentum behaves during collisions and explain how the law of conservation of momentum applies in real-life situation that your group has decided upon. So through the group investigation and presentation, you will show how physics explains motion, impact, and interactions between moving objects. So what's your role here as the as you performing this activity? So each group, your role is to become a team of physics investigators or safety engineers who will analyze a situation involving motion and collision. So, sinong audience dire? Of course, it would be your classmates because you will be presenting that on Friday next week. Yours truly, your teacher, because I will be rating each group based on the rubric that I have presented. And anyone who wants to, okay, so far amo lang na duwa. So make sure whoever the reporter or presenter for your group, just like last time, must deliver, must explain in a very understandable way your chosen scenario or investigation and demonstration. Next, situation. So this situation section shows you some of the probable collisions or scenarios that showcases momentum. So remember, collisions occur in many real-life situations such as vehicles stopping or even colliding, rolling objects, catching objects, pushing carts, and colliding it with others, of course. Sports interactions, nagbungguanay when playing a certain sport, objects separating or moving apart, and any other safe momentum interaction. So because of these many real life situations or collision scenarios, your group here will design only one collision scenario that demonstrates momentum before and after the interaction or collision using accessible materials or any materials available at home. That's why you need not to buy anything just for your demonstration. In the other groups, ang group ni Shirel, may toy cars lang sila dito nga gin-prepare which are available, maybe toys ang manghud nila. Ang grupo nila Marie, they have identified a simulation app nga gamiton nila to showcase the scenario nga gusto nila ipakita. So far, amo ng accomplishments sa iban nga groups earlier. So, amo nang obrahon ninyo man. Just design one collision or scenario. Now, for the next part of the framework, the procedure, and then after that, i-summarize ko pagid anong mga products or outputs nga gina-expect ninyo. So, each group, you shall assign step first. This is the suggested group workflow. So, amo ning follow ninyo each group. So, step 1, you're going assign roles for each member. Sinong group leader ninyo da? So, siya na yung mag-guide sa inyo, ma-plan out, ma-suggest what to do, maghatag responsibility for each member of the group, and to ensure that whatever the member has presented based on his own contribution, i-verify niya. Next is the scenario designer or researcher. So, depende sa inyo kung ma-assign ka mo isa lang. Ang group day Jake ya do nakamono sila kagina nga every member of the group must design their own scenario. So, ma-meeting na sila later on and decide kung anong scenario nila. materials manager o kung sino ang mangita sa material nga kinanglanon for their scenario, investigator or demonstrator. So kay base i-demonstrate na ninyo. So that's why may masample na ma-demonstrate later on, makita nyo sa sample nga ipakita ko nga very simple lang na demonstration, hindi na kinanglan nga nga lawig-lawig nga pila ginakauras nga videohanay ninyo. Next is data recorder. May ara manda nga data recorder siya na iya ma-take note sa values sang mass siyang ma-assign kung gusto nyo ma-assign ka mo values sang velocity before the collision and after. And then may ara ka mo sang ma-calculate or ma-analyze based on the given values. I-solve ninyo ang total momentum before the collision, ang final velocity sang isa ka object, and then based on those solvings ninyo, i-verify niyo kung the momentum before the collision and the total momentum after the collision is the same. And if you have proven that, then you have achieved the objective. You have now verified that indeed total momentum before the collision and after the collision are the same. So thereby satisfying the law of conservation of momentum. So of course, another would be the presenter who will present your output. Now, later, makita ninyo ang template nga ginubra ko. Previously, wala ko tani naghatag sa inyo template kay gusto ko ya kamo maubra, pagustuhan ta kamo, bas for as long as nga you follow the 5 to 7 minute nga presentation nga ginhatag ko sa inyo. But anyway, let's proceed. So after you have identified the roles for each member, the next step that you're going to do is to design your scenario. So you have to plan a safe collision situation and discuss how momentum will behave. Again ha, safe. Kasi may mga explosion kamo da for as long as nga tawag na safe ina siya, okay lang na. So here are just some of the situations that you could choose among them, or you could create another one depende sa inyong group. Now, for the step 3, after nga naka-design na kamo sa scenario ninyo, you demonstrate or perform the interaction or collision. So, you may either perform by a simple demonstration using real objects or mga toy cars, or depende kung anong inyong situation, or through simulation, which I have mentioned nga pareho sa obrahon day signal. Bao depende sa ila kung ma-real objects sila or they going to push through that simulation. But I saw in their GC earlier, they have found a very good simulation app that they could use to present their work. Next is use available materials. So, mo nang ginambal ko sa inyo, improvised or available materials, don't buy a new one. Next, after nga naka-demo na, o ang demonstration na, pwede lang na isa or duha lang ka members, hindi kinanglan kamutanan nga magkadtugid sa balay sang classmate nyo May ara lang na may ma-demo, may ma-video, para may ara, okay na. Next is step 4, you collect the data now. So either you determine the mass of an object using a weighing scale. So kaya syempre kilogram mga aton SI unit, apos lang magkilo, kung may ara ka mo weighing scale sa balay. Or kung sa mga velocity ninyo, which is quite difficult, you could assign the value of the velocity. So for collection of data, make sure nyo may mass kamo sa objects nyo, may initial velocity kamo or velocities of the objects before they collided, final velocity or velocity after the objects collided, and if you could include the direction of the motion, diin pakadto ang motion para daw makita man, ma-indicate. So you could showcase an arrow to signify the direction of the motion, or through the demonstration ninyo nga ipakita, then makita lang man naton. So when you collect the data, you try to prove the law of conservation of momentum. So after collecting the data, you compute immediately. So amo to ang total momentum before the collision, or kung isolve nyo pagid, unknown pagid inyong velocity sang isa ka object after the collision, pwede man. And then after that, you try to solve for the total momentum after the collision. If you have found, if ara na, makita nyo na dayon kung equal gid man or hindi. So that's for step 4. After that, kung may mga solvings na kamo, then you could now prepare your presentation. Later on, may ara ko to yasang slides deck nga gin prepare sample template para may guide kamo kay gusto nyo gid like do spoon feed kamo nga tanan-tanan na lang ipakita ko gid specify gid tanan. So gina-try ta tani kamo develop into critical thinkers nga kamo mismo ma-develop sang inyo based on the instruction lang nga ginhatag ko, because that won't limit your creativity. Kamo yung magiging creative kamo anong iplastar ninyo nga kaigo lang di sa 5 to 7 minutes. Well, kung amo nang gusto nyo nga ginahatag ko sa inyo tanan, okay, ihatag ko sa inyo. So make sure your slide presentation explains your scenario, your investigation, your calculations, and conclusions. So again, same timeline today. Ginsend ko na yung orientation. You can discuss with your groups kung alang-alang kamo today, tomorrow, discuss kamo, plano nyo kung anong inyong scenario, materials sa kinanglanon. And then the rest of the days before April 17, you investigate, you demonstrate, analyze, compute, solve, and create the PowerPoint presentation. And then make sure April 17, Friday next week, to be ready for group presentation. By the way, make sure April 16, that's Thursday, make sure to send in advance the PowerPoint presentation sa inyong respective GC kay para final na and amo na nang ready to present on Friday, April 17. So again, remember, each group are given only to present 5 to 7 minutes only. Previously, 3 to 5 minutes lang to. Para riho lang actually. Galing kay nakita ko nga ang iban mga groups, so hindi man most of the groups, kulang ang 3 minutes. That's why gin-adjust ko 5 to 7 minutes by group. Okay, so finally, amo na ning summary sang expected outputs if all of the group follows the 5-step process nga ginhatag ko kang ginang ulubrahon ninyo. So dapat may choose one collision situation. Another one, after nga naka-identify na kamo, you must provide objects that involve in interaction, identify the given values, solve for the values based on the formula given. So, based on that, you identify or determine na conserve gid man ang momentum. So, this question can be answered by showing your correct calculations and explanations. Third is visual representation, because your presentation should include later on the diagram of the situation based sa gindemo ninyo. Kung may mga arrows kamuda, and calculations on comparisons before and after the collision. So again, amo niyang akon nga rubric, so i-review nyo lang na, kay anyway na-discuss ko na earlier. So here is now the template for your slides deck. Meaning, magamba ko slides deck, amo ni ang PPT nga i-prepare sang kada group, just like what you did last time sang first naton nga mini performance task. So, slide 1 is the title slide. Could include there the title of the investigation. You could customize, so, di ba lang ako nga title, ang sang activity ni is, collision investigation challenge. So, instead, kay ang example ko di, nga ginatag sa inyo, which I discussed last Friday, nag-use ako sang billiard balls, ti amo ni akon nga gamiton nga title. So, if possible, make your title aligned to whatever scenario na na-design ninyo kada group. So, aside from that, you indicate the group number as well as the members. Mula nakasimple, slide 1. Slide 2, scenario description. So, explain your chosen scenario via demonstration. So, akon sample scenario dere, a cue ball strikes a stationary black billiard ball on a pool table. So, ako niya, picture lang ginbutang ko. Kaya wala pa ko yan naka-demo. Pero kung kamo na demo kamo, video i-attach nyo dira. Simple lang man na, kagamay lang na sa video. Pila lang na ka-seconds, tapos na dayon. So, you could include their short description, photo or short video clip of the demonstration. Remember, I told each group you shall demonstrate the scenario. So, brief example only can even be done by 1 or 2 members by group. So, that's only the content of your slide number 2. Amula nakasimple. For slide number 3, present the initial conditions before the collision. So, kung amo to nga akong scenario, collision via billiard balls, so ipakita ko lang dang given. So, kung may arrow ka dang ipakita para sa motion, pwede man idugang mo da. Araya ako niya, may mass na ko sa first object's velocity as well with the mass and velocity of the second object nga na-involve sa collision nga ara sa video or picture nga na-present na kon earlier. So that's only for slide number 3, before collision. Next, slide 4, after collision. So, i-present mo anong given, natabo after nga nagkulay, di na nagkadto ang bola, or di na nagkadto ang toys nga ginubran ninyo or ninyo lang inyong scenario. Tapos given, kag anong pangitaon ko. So, I'm going to solve for total momentum before the collision as well as the velocity of the ball after the collision. So, that's the 4th slide. After that, 5th slide na, compute the total momentum before the collision. Kaya di ba ato to sa 4th slide ninyo kung anong pangitaon, anong unknown, anong need isolve. So, mo na isolve ko amat-amat. Slide 5, slide 6, isolve ko ang velocity kay hindi given. Pero kung given na inyo velocity kay ginadutangan nyo na sang daan sang value, make sure that it's correct. Then, no need for slide number 6. Proceed ka na dayon sa slide number 7. Pero kung wala kaya sang value sang V2, then you shall include this one. Calculation to solve for V2 or the velocity of the second ball after the collision. Next is slide 7, proof of conservation of momentum. Kaya di ba mo nang ginambal ko sa inyo, you justify that indeed momentum is conserved. So, ang mula na kasimple, you use the formula, substitute the values, and there you have it. Kung correct na, kung equal, then okay na. Slide 8, wala ko ding maginhatag na sample, pero conclusion lang na. Pwede nga i-include mo ni slide 8 or ihambal mo na lang sa slide 7 kay anyway ara dang equal sa dalom in other words our investigation demonstrated that the total momentum before the collision is equal to the total momentum after the collision, confirming the law of conservation of momentum. And then last slide, pwede nga idugang nyo da, briefly show photo of experiment setup, evidence of group planning kung may mga kamuda, role, hindi na kinahanglan role of members or ang pag-perform sang demo nan. Kung gusto niyo yang ipakita ang behind the scenes, wala gid problema. So mula nakasimple ang akon nga output sa inyo. So if you notice, it's a very simple mini performance task. So hindi na siya damo gid kamo lubrahon pila man na kamo kabilog sa grupo. Well, I understand your frustrations kay maybe all the subjects are giving you performance tasks, but well, this is a major subject. This is your science class. And of course, what will I give grade to you kung wala ko ya sa mga mini performance tasks? Instead of giving you gani nga isa lang ka major performance task, ginagamay-gamay ko sa iya kay para hindi ka mo ayawan. Anong gusto niyo? Pabrahon ta ka mo sang scrapbook nga damo-damo. Pabrahon ta ka mo sang portfolio nga perti ka damo-damo from the start to finish ang aton nga discussion. Basi mag-agay ka mo. Amo na gani nga ginplastar ko nga gamay-gamayon ko lang and you do it by group. Why ko yung nagambal nga individual Kay kung individual name, dira gid ka mo for sure magalalain pagid ka mo ya. So that's why I'm actually trying to help you and at the same time for you to learn the concept based on the real life scenario. Hindi kay lang true lang sa discussion ni Ma'am Aba. So I hope you could realize the essence of this mini performance task and perform the best of your abilities as a group. So I think that's all for the instruction. Thank you. If there is any other question, you could ask directly sa aton nga main GC. Hindi na sa inyo nga group chat nga respective group chat kay hindi man kamo gyapon kasabat kung kamo mamaskot kada grupo sa inyo nga groupmates kay base imo groupmates hindi man kabalo. So ask me directly sa aton nga main GC kay para ang question nga na ma-address ko dayon and everyone would see it. So after this video, I will send in our group chat this document along with that PowerPoint template. You could either use PowerPoint or kung Canva ka mo gamit, wala problema. That's all. Thank you.